Testing 1 2 1 2. And we are live, hopefully. So, Friday morning, Thursday night, American Truck Sim Day. So, last time we got up to level 9. It's freezing here again today. Almost to 10. So when we get to 10, so hopefully one more job, we get to 10, and we're going to expand our garage and get a new truck and paint it green. So let's get a job. Is this where we are? Pendleton. Oh, £187,000. Yeah, no, I can't do that one. We want to go Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Arizona. $51 a mile. That's good money, isn't it? Offer expires in 28 minutes. I won't get there. I fell for that the other day. Pressure tanks. $46 a mile. That looks like a decent run. We'll take that one. So we will. What we think about today's chat topics. Probably going to try and save all this Formula 1 news for Monday on Danny Rick Day.
Ready to roll.
Let's get it warmed up here. Where are we going? Out there, okay. Oh, look at that, just missed that. Nice.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
Been playing bus sim in that. Brakes are rubbish in that. So we'll get down and pick up our tanks, and then we'll talk about what we'll talk about today.
Go straight on.
It's at the end of my street. I guess it's 4th of July in America still. So, happy 4th of July. I said that they were going to have a parade in Washington. And then of course everyone's, oh, it's just like North Korea.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
I'd like to see that. See some cool planes. I'm not going to risk it. I ran a crossing, or I tried to run a crossing in the Denny Rick at the start of the week. Didn't make it. It was a disaster. Oh yeah? I'm glad these trains, people complain, oh these trains aren't long enough, they're not realistic, but do you want to wait for a 4 kilometre long train to go past, or do you sort of want to get on with your day?
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
Oh, I'm too hard on the brakes.
It's all over now.
We can get some weight on there, that'll be alright. Yeah, we're taking that one. Down there somewhere. Might just back down there, I think.
Let's go.
I like the animations. I wish they'd put that in Euro Truck. I haven't seen it in Euro Truck anyway, if it is. What's the time? 8:19 in the morning. It's a bit overcast. Pop our lights on.
Turn left.
What are these things? Yeah, look at those people there. Hey! Hey, mate. Dodgy. Talking to some lady down the back there. Is that your wife?
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
That's a double trailer, is it? Oh, it's a long load. Cool. So I think the first thing to talk about is, I know I'm probably a little bit behind the news here. So forgot last time. But did you see the Joe Rogan podcast with Bob Lazar?
Get ready to turn left.
Geez, the Alien Highway in this game? I wonder if it is. I'd have to look up to see what highway it was. Anyway.
Turn left.
The guy who says that he worked at Area 51 or thereabouts, or an area attached to Area 51, and worked on the alien propulsion system. This is one of those things, isn't it? Even if you sort of say, well, you know, his story's kind of believable.
Never mind. I'll find a new route.
What? Was I supposed to turn there? Did they tell me to turn? Oh. Oh. I missed the turn because I was flapping my gums. That happens, you know. I think we're going to go through here so we can pick up this area. And then make our way down here. We'll go this way, I think. So we can pick up that unlock. We've been through here before. And that's where we're going.
Time to get the job done.
So, oh, unfortunately, I missed the exit there because I started thinking about aliens. That's probably happened to lots of truck drivers in real life, so this is ultra realistic. It's one of those things, isn't it? You have to sort of come out and say, well, if the story is true, because you never want to sort of say, you know what, I believe that guy. Even if his story is reasonable and, you know, all that type of stuff. You don't want to demark yourself as, yeah, I believe that guy. But yeah, one of the things, and I wonder if it's why I went on the podcast, I then went and watched the documentary on Netflix. If you haven't seen the Joe Rogan podcast I'm talking about, it wasn't just Joe and Bob Lazar, it was also the guy who made a documentary for Netflix. And every time he sort of spoke, I just said, what the hell is this guy talking about? It just sort of made no sense. Like, the guy who's come out, well, not recently, I mean back in the 80s or 90s or whatever it was, says he's worked with aliens. Seems a lot more normal than the guy who's making the documentary, you know. So I watched the documentary, and I think I kind of understand why he then went to make the podcast. Because, you know, he doesn't do much in the way of media. It kind of adds to his credibility. Apparently he's sort of never made a cent out of it. He sort of refuses to take money for it because he says, well, you know, it harms my credibility. Which kind of makes sense, you know, if he was making good money on speaking tours and that, you'd sort of say, well, you know, you're making a lot of money out of doing these speaking tours.
Let's find a new route.
Oh, did I miss that again? That is definitely telling me that I should be, yeah, I'm not going to get there, am I? With this load on. Oh, this is ridiculous. It's definitely got the arrows going this way. I was sort of following the nav. I hope the nav isn't bugged. We've got to do that loop again. You're losing time here. Now driving angry. Get a phone call, mate. You haven't even. We're watching you on the GPS, mate. You haven't even left the city.
To turn left.
Or was it me? Did I just miss it again? Because I'm ignoring the lady. We'll see. We'll find out. Well, Welcome to our tour of Pendleton. It's the bus sim. It's the bus sim. I'm just doing laps of Pendleton. Should be 100 mile down the road by now. Alright, let me concentrate. Let me concentrate while I come through here. Then we'll go back to aliens, I promise.
Get ready to turn left.
Get ready to turn left. Yes, okay, I'm turning left here. Then I should be going right.
Turn left.
Here he comes. We're getting good at this corner. Yeah, it's definitely got the arrows going off the other way, hasn't it? Yeah. So was it me? Are people yelling at the screen? Well, that implies somebody's watching. Aha, so she never tells you to veer here, that's why I've just been going straight on. She thinks this is straight on and that is turning left. Okay. It's kind of realistic, you know, when nav doesn't take you the right way, or the directions are just sort of hard to understand, or getting just on the totally wrong exit in Melbourne because it told me take this exit, and I'm like, I'm sure I'm not supposed to take this exit, but I did. And then it was a nightmare to get back around. Tow truck, awesome. But yeah, okay, aliens. Yeah, so I watched the documentary. And it wasn't very good. I mean, it was mostly the person who made the documentary talking to another journalist on the phone. That is just, that's how they sort of confirm things or get their point across. That was a way of telling the story. It was just not a very well made documentary, you know. And sort of after seeing the guy on the podcast, I said, why is this sort of scatterbrained effectively? Like the sort of person who starts a sentence or an idea and never completes it, just starts going off on tangents. And like, I'm not sure what you're trying to tell me, bro. So yeah, the documentary was a bit like that. It just wasn't. It sort of looked like B-roll footage. You know, it looked like a. You should have made a documentary, and then this was sort of behind the scenes of the documentary, B-roll. But no, this was the documentary. So I sort of see why he would want to then go and do the podcast, so he can sort of try and get his story across in his own words a little bit. So, if you sort of want to know about the story, I would suggest watching the podcast rather than the documentary. I mean, if you're really into that, sure, go watch it on Netflix. Something to watch on there, isn't it? But the podcast gave me a better idea, really, of what his story was. So, I mean, the documentary aside, do I think there's extraterrestrial life? Yeah, for sure. No problems with that. It's a big universe. The odds are sort of with it, aren't they? Not against it. Do I think that guy is telling the truth? Well, no one wants to come out and say, yeah, I totally believe that guy. I mean, you have to sort of agree that there's been things that he said that people dismissed originally that have turned out to be, based in fact. So he's not entirely without credibility. Joe Rogan loves that type of stuff, huh? And I'll watch all the shows that he makes on it, because I did enjoy his, that Joe Rogan investigates everything. Joe Rogan investigates everything? I think it was called that. Where he went to these sort of, these common sort of weird conspiracy theories, sort of went into them. Went out and met the people who were their sort of proponents. 10 miles an hour over the speed limit here, but I've got to make up all that time that I lost driving around Pendleton. Because he showed... I had the same attitude as him a little bit.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Whereas,
Exit.
I'm open to hear anything. I'm open to any sort of scientific, reasonable, evidence-based discussion
Turn left.
of whatever. Nothing's off the table. But these things don't turn out to be terribly scientific, and when you actually apply a bit of science to them, you end up finding out, no, that's not Bigfoot fur, it's just bear fur. Or people, I was probed by aliens and all that type of stuff. It's sort of, no, a lot of it's not very credible, is it? Or, oh, Hitler, did he escape to the Andes? Oh, no. Well, we know that's false. How many times
Get ready to turn left.
can you keep making a show about the same premise that people should know is false?
Turn left.
I have picked that up. I'm just double checking that we did pick that up. I mean, people keep going on about the JFK assassination, and there was a documentary, an Australian documentary. I don't know if the documentary, but it was an Australian investigator, and he, the evidence that he produced was what I'd call compelling. And that was that the shot that sort of exploded Kennedy's head had come from the follow car behind. And basically, supposedly, given the accounts that were there and the footage and that type of stuff, Oswald had let off a shot or whatever it was. Well, the guy behind in the follow car, and I think the passenger seat. Don't rely on my details here. They had a carbine
right,
in the
and then
carbine
straight on.
in the car. He picked that up, and just then the guy accelerated.
Straight on.
So the guy in the front seat sort of falls backwards, letting off a round, which they later said, oh yeah, we returned fire. And the trajectory of the bullet is basically a perfect match for where that guy was sitting in the car. So was there a conspiracy? Yeah, it was. Because they accidentally shot the president in the back of the head. And that's worth covering up because, How are you going to explain this one? But does anyone want to believe that this is an accidental discharge? But everyone just wants to ignore that one because it's sort of, oh, it's not good enough. The CIA wanted him dead or something like that. Maybe they did. But the Russians, Oswald and the Russians and the CIA, maybe they all had something to do with Oswald, I don't know. But I think that was the first time where I'd seen some decent evidence. Just ballistic evidence. And one of the damning things was the hole in the size of his head. The size of the hole in his head just ballistically was no good for Oswald's rifle, but perfect for the carbine in the car behind. So we got off aliens and onto JFK. It's conspiracy morning. Top stuff. Hey, Mr. Bus Driver. What's going on? So yeah, the JFK, in my book, solved, but just lost amongst all the other million theories. So I think, why did I go down this tangent? Well, one of the reasons was, in terms of aliens, oh, the loan installment just came out. Whatever. In terms of aliens, ignoring the scenery, nice. If someone does produce something that's real in terms of a story, it's just lost amongst all the other weird conspiracies and stories. You know? There's some things that are just too cluttered. It's a forest and the trees sort of situation. You can't see the tree because of the forest.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
ETA Saturday 3:36. It's still okay, we're still okay. 5% damage on the truck, did I know or something? Don't remember. Maybe that was in the last episode. So yeah, let's say that Bob Lazar's story is entirely true. This is a problem. What good does it do him? Because it's just mixed up with the mountain of complete rubbish that's written and spoken and law, TV shows, and you know, it's a great way, isn't it, to just anything that you're sort of worried about in terms of conspiracy theories. There's so much rubbish about each one of them. If something like true does pop up occasionally, well, it just becomes white noise. It's all just white noise. Just forget the alien thing, you know? Because even if you do hear something true, what good does it do you? You don't know. It's just a mess. think people have had too many movies that influence the way that they see events will unfold, which is a cryptic statement, so I'll clarify. Oh, brakes! Thanks, mate. You watch a movie and, the aliens land, and the information gets out. If I could just get this information to the press, and then, it changes the world. The whole world changes, because aliens, we know they're real.
Go straight on.
Is that a stop sign? No, stop sign for other people. And that just won't happen. You know, if this guy is telling the truth, he's done that for 30 years. 30 years! And you know what? It hasn't made any difference whatsoever. Nothing changed. Most people don't believe in those that do, so well, probably. And so what? You still got to get up in the morning and eat your breakfasts and take a dump. You know, that's... Has it just got to the point where people have been denying it too much, or not saying anything about it too much that they don't want to tell you? If Trump...
Keep right, and then exit right.
If Trump came out tomorrow and said, you know what, there's evidence of aliens, we're in contact with them, we've been in contact with them since the 40s, and they've been giving us tech. What's the big deal? What's going on here? Oh, it's a burst water main. How cool is that? That is awesome.
Go straight on.
Is there an unlock coming up?
Go straight on, and then turn right. Turn right.
Turn right. Whatever, lady. I won't take this trailer through the gas station, huh? Yeah, but you know, is it because of religious people? It's because religious people would be in turmoil if it turned out there were aliens? Is that... I don't know. I don't know what the thing is where you...
Right.
Everyone thinks it would be such a big deal and then it would change the world. Because what would we change? Unless they're going to come and give us some real good tech. Is it oil companies? Have the aliens got tech that means, well, you don't need petrol anymore? Like, guys, we just somehow pull CO2 out of the air and drive around on that. Really? Or do they come out and sort of say, you know, we tried this capitalism and communism and all that, it doesn't work. What you need to do is XYZ. That sort of doesn't work for some people. I don't know, but the idea that it would just change the world overnight to know that, it's probably true. You know, it's sort of like You watch movies and there's something, the president's done something, or one man's fight to bring out the truth manages to get it on tape at the last minute. Oh, the world changes. Mate, how many politicians and captains of industry have been caught out for doing something horrendous and nothing? In Australia recently, and well, the same thing happened to HSBC on a global scale. The banks have sort of been caught out not complying with anti-terrorism and anti-drug money laundering laws and all that kind of stuff. They're too big to do anything about. Nothing has happened. The HSBC's we launder stacks of drug money. Billions. Don't care, mate. You know, when they dish out fines to banks and oil companies, they dish out a fine that, yeah, if you're a small operator, it'd kill you. Dish out a fine to the bank of $1 million, they're making $5 billion every half a year. Oh, $1 million fine, oh no. That's probably like the meal expense account for the board. Whatever. So the idea that these sort of big revelations will just change the world. Humans have worked out how to create electricity from the sun. Are we all getting free electricity, free or cheap electricity from the sun? Nah. Did it change the world? No. It's having an effect. Things that happen overnight. Everything will be different from tomorrow. No, it won't, man. But
Go straight on.
I just don't know why people think this issue of all issues would change the world overnight. Not going to. Unless they attack, man. If they turn up to attack, oof.
Go straight on.
Speaking of Netflix, I've been watching the because I like the subject matter, but well, in English they call it a very secret service, but I think the translation of it would be in the service of France. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's sort of set in the 60s of the say the French equivalent of the CIA. It's probably the easiest way to explain it. But it's like really chauvinist and 60s and French. It's just, well, the drinks cart comes out and they're always worried about what bonus they're getting for a mission, and it's been a really neat little show. There's 2 seasons of it. I don't know if they'll make a 3rd, I'm not sure. But it was really enjoyable. It's enjoyable to watch something different as well, you know. There's only so many police murder mysteries that you can watch, and you know, I'm a fan of especially Nordic police murder mysteries, you know, well written ones and that, but can't just make them. That and superhero stuff. You know, so you want something different occasionally. So it's been so nice to have something that's that little bit different. Yeah, so I highly recommend it if you... It's one of those things, the comedy is quite subtle. I mean, in some parts it's not quite subtle, but in a lot of parts it's quite subtle, so it's not wacky. It's the sort of thing you sort of describe as highly amusing. And then it turned out that the actual, when it sort of first started, I thought, oh, it's just a bit of fun, this. But it had quite a good plot running through it, which I won't spoil. But it's just an underdone. It's just an underdone area. I mean, intelligence services and intelligence gathering, and you know, it's both an interesting and probably quite darkly comic area. It's just underdone. A way station coming up. I wonder if we'll be asked to pull in. And who's pulling to the way station yet? No worries. Oh, he's got to go as well.
Recompute.
It's costing us time here, mate. So yeah, it's been kind of good to just watch something different. Thanks, mate. See ya, mate. Check the old mirrors. Mirror signal maneuver. So highly recommended if you want that sort of thing. It's just been nice to see some different things. Have really become too samey, haven't they? You know, you either there's way too much police murder mystery, or it's just sort of pointless drama. The drama's become overly dramatic. You know, I kind of blame TV and movies for that as well. Like, shit happens in people's lives. People just taught to be massively over dramatic about it. Thanks to TV. So
Keep right and then turn right.
ooh, what's going on here? Is this a crash or I think it is. It's a crash.
Turn right.
Truck v car. Truck win. So yeah, Netflix, don't recommend the Bob Lazar documentary unless you're really into it.
Get ready to turn right.
Do recommend Very Secret Service.
Turn right. Get ready to turn left.
Yeah, yeah.
Turn left.
Junkyard. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
You have arrived at your destination. Your route guidance is now finished.
Oakley dokley. Now that should take us to level 10. Nice. And we can finish our hazardous cargo. Yeah. I'll take anything hazardous, mate. So I'm a rebel. Okay, so we took a $400,000 loan for the, and we're up to 431. So we've paid for our truck and then some. So garage manager. Where is our garage? It's Las Vegas, isn't it? Okay, so do you want to upgrade your garage for 180,000? Why not? Yes. I mean, if you can build that building for 180,000, you're doing well. Or have you maybe sold the old one and bought that one? Let's say that. That makes more sense, because the old one was just a freaking shed. Truck headquarters. If I could buy that for 180,000, I'd be happy. Jeez. Right, recruitment agency. Where are we? Clothes falls. Okay, so hire a driver. She's already got a bit of long distance. Annette P, you're hired. Basically because you can do some long distance. Yep. Truck manager. We're not going to build one like that exactly, so let's relocate. Okay, she's got the Volvo. Balanced. I wanted to get, let's go on long distance for the moment. Righto. So, we've got our garage upgraded, we've got our first driver. Time to buy the truck. I've been pretty happy with the Volvo, but wouldn't mind, might as well go for something a bit different, eh? Something a bit different. Again, this is going to be another truck that's going to get passed on, isn't it? So truck dealers. Volvo. Peterbilt, Kenworth. What has Kenworth got to offer? Yes. You got to admit, the classic looking truck is a good looking truck, isn't it? $116. W900 day cab. Ooh. It's a big truck, isn't it? It's a big truck. Oh. I'm almost tempted to buy one of these really sort of stocky Kenworths. Just to have fun driving it around. Yeah, okay, we'll go for this one. Let's customize this bad boy. Paint it in our classic green. Okay. Mild roof sleeper. Short 6x2 250 gallon. No, I'm going to keep this sort of stock looking truck. Short 6x2 mid lift, 150 gallon, 6x4. 6x4 200 gallon. That sounds like a good setup, doesn't it? The 6x4 200 gallon. Alright, let's get some horsepower. 500 horses from the Cummins. We're totally going for that one. "13 speeds with a retarder." Or an 18 speed. No retarder. That's the one for us. Diamond VIT grey. Ooh. to do anything else but that. Vantage VIT grade. This changes the door card. Diamond VIT tan. Oh, tan. It's certainly different. I'll give it that. I would totally go for I just like the stock look. Going for that one. Colour we already sorted, it's perfect, mate. Now the all-important accessories. We like chrome rims here. Yeah. Prefer the standard. Standard plastic side skirt. That definitely looks better. I'm taking that one. What's going on here? Headache racks. That's kind of cool actually, isn't it? It's a bit different. We will take that accessory. The white mud flaps, or the exclusive mud flaps. Go for the white. Yeah, no, not keen. Front flag, not keen. Bug deflector, not keen. Front mirrors, no. Front bumper, bumper painted, bumper chrome. Bull bar. Oh, they got the black. Yeah, I don't think we want a bull bar at the moment. It's sort of stocky looking truck. And bright green. Main mirrors. Standard. Mirrors exclusive. Is that supposed to be chrome? I like a bit of detail on there. I think I like just the duty mirror. Okay. Sun visor. No, good. Beacon. We totally want beacons. Cavern deflectors. No. Horns. Give me the super raw. big raw and 2 raws. There we go. Cabin lights, light adapter. You know we want lights. Okay. Front mirrors. Yeah, I like just the proper steering wheel. Front mirrors, main mirrors, front plate, bug deflector, sun visor, hanging items, chainsaw toy. Nah. Is that a mirror? Side mirror, don't care. Main mirrors, co-driver's plate. Shame there's no interior. What's this one? It's a shame there's no interior, like, you know, you can put your phone or whatever. Maybe there are in other trucks, not this one. Spent an extra 28 grand on this bad boy. But it should be able to haul a fair bit of stuff. Purchase. Well, it's obviously going to Vegas, isn't it? It's my truck now. Okay, let's leave. Where am I now? Back in Vegas? That's alright. We'll live with that. I've even got the green beanie. Map. I'm in Elko. Okay, that's alright. Jackpot. So, still got 380,000 on the loan left to repay. Account balance 104.73. Do we have a target for what jobs? What we're going to do now? Let's just get ourselves a job. In Elko. I wouldn't mind going to Jackpot. Is there a run to Jackpot by any chance? No. $25, $34, $50 a mile. Elko, Nevada to Newport, Oregon. $50 in mad. We'll take that one. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
I get used to driving our new truck. It should have plenty of horses. Can't remember what the Volvo was. I feel like it was 370 horsepower. So
Turn right.
It's one of those things you get used to things, isn't it? I'm sort of used to the mirrors on the Volvo now and then. There we go. It's not too bad. It's pretty simple. Let's get in front of this truck.
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right.
So yeah, I suppose we've got to set ourselves a target. I mean, obviously we want to get some more money and get another truck. Is this trailer behind me? I'd say it probably is. Oh, there it is, right there. Is that the front of the trailer? Oh, this deflector. I can't see where the truck's going. Fucking boo. To use the mirror. Or can I see by going... Ah, there you go.
Drive safe.
See, I'm just not used to the truck. Oh, we've got to get this massive load out here. Alright. Oh, it's a big load, that, isn't it, eh? So it is.
Get ready to turn left.
Now, while we're waiting for that, let's check out our map. We've been through there. Oh, I better check how much fuel we've got too, hadn't we? Been through there. Go through Bend, which we've been. Salem, where we've been. Finish up in Newport. Doesn't seem to be anything to unlock there, so we're cool with the route.
Turn left.
We've got a full tank of fuel. It's part of the deal. You buy the truck for 150,000, we give you a tank of fuel. Good on you, mate. Yeah, so what is our goal now? Can we get to a certain amount of money or to a certain level? We sort of truck this to level 15. Might make that my rough goal at the moment. Truck this to level 15.
Go straight on.
Furniture. So yeah, now where did we get to on aliens?
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right.
Actually, I've sort of moved on to Netflix, hadn't we? So yeah, I mean, don't you hate when you start watching a show
Get ready to turn left.
and one of the things I find is lazy writing is they suddenly bring in family drama.
Turn left.
I started watching that show, it's called Ray Donovan. And then Chopper. The premise of the show was sort of quite interesting. Oh, he sort of fixes problems for Hollywood celebrities. Shit. Terrorist, bro. So I thought, oh, you know, this is quite interesting. And then it just, all of a sudden, even in the first episode, especially in the second, all of a sudden 80% of the show is these family dramas, and then 20% of the show is the actual subject matter that made it interesting. And you sort of go, they just don't want to write scripts, do they, for the interesting part? Oh, it's hard to come up with these new ideas. So rather than having a new idea every episode, we'll have one every 4 episodes, and we'll just fill the rest. It's filler. Family drama filler. Oh, he doesn't like his brother and his dad and his... It's been done, mate. And like, it's just so out of character too. Get this guy who like just goes around doing obscene stuff by day, and then he comes home, oh, and he's going to be worried about certain people's opinions and that. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So many shows get like that. They find these sort of lazy excuses for script writing, and they can just fill out seasons easily. That's why I like a lot of British shows or Australian shows. A season is like 6 episodes. A US season of something is, you know, 24 episodes. You know, I'd rather have 6 shows of quality than 20 shows of filler. Do they have like a B team of writers? You know, like they have an A team of writers and they go, guys, you do the first season, you know. You do the first couple of shows. And when it's sort of stuck, we'll bring in the B team and you guys go and work on another show. So many shows like that. I mean, we're talking aliens, say X-Files. You watch those sort of original X-Files at their time. I mean, they're pretty dated now. You watch those original X-Files, and there was sort of a different subject every week. Then they sort of realised, well, we're going to run out of subjects here. You know? We better have a story that we can follow. And then we just go into eternal loops of the same story. Such and such is kidnapped, such and such is raised from the dead.
Go straight on.
How will he get out of this one? Gosh, we've written ourselves into a tight corner here. Oh, an angel of his or something. You just go, I can't take this. X-Files, Supernatural and that. So they start off okay, they get a couple of good seasons under their belt, and then they just sort of go, well, we're out of ideas now, so do you know what we're going to do? Filler.
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right.
Man.
Turn right. Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
What's the time? 6:28 PM. Let's get some lights on there. Going to come in for the evening shift. 528 miles to go.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
Yeah, they have done a good job of getting a different feel between Euro Truck 2 and this. You know, the sort of types of journeys you get, the length of the journeys, and the... It does feel like a sort of a different type of trucking, you know? Hey mate. What's that? Is that a gun store? Awesome. So yeah, too many shows doing this. You know what I have been watching is one of the things I like about streaming services is that you can watch stuff chronologically. That's so hard to do now on normal television. I don't know what it's like wherever you live, but say Big Bang Theory. I don't mind Big Bang Theory. Good show. Makes me laugh. It's on 27 times a week, but the repeats, but from all different seasons. And then, you know, the current season, it's not on, it's on. Its time slot's different. You get an episode, then you want next week, get 2 episodes, then next week, no episodes. And then the week after that, they've moved it to a slightly different channel or a different time slot. Like, it's not consistent. Remember when TV was, a show was on a certain day or time of the week? And you knew what was going on. Well, you know, Seinfeld's on at whatever, 6:30. 6:30 I'll watch Seinfeld. Or Seinfeld's on 6:30 Tuesday. Well, I'll watch Seinfeld 6:30 Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, you talk about it.
Keep right.
But now to watch something chronologically is just so incredibly difficult. You miss an episode, the episode's not on, it's not on anymore. So, and then in 3 weeks' time we're back, it's a new episode again. It's like, what? And then here locally, like, they mix some episodes up, and it's like, what is going on? You know? So then on a streaming service, you can sort of go back and you watch stuff from the start. Recently been watching a show called Frasier. Don't you remember that sort of 90s sort of show? Kelsey Grammer. And it's so good to just watch it from episode 1 all the way through. There's a lot of seasons. I think there's 11 seasons. There's like 25 episodes in a season. That's plenty of TV. I think at the moment I'm on season 3 or 4. I think it's I might have just started season 4. There hasn't been a bad episode, you know? It's funny. It's good situational comedy. And even though he's sort of a celebrity radio psychiatrist or psychologist, he's a psychologist, isn't he? It's still relatable because it's about how stupidly people behave and about the stupid things people do and the stupid things that happen to you. The sort of mundane things. So it's just funny. And it's so good to just watch it. And you sort of end up watching it on a routine. That's why I think time slots are useful for people. You end up watching it on a routine by choice. You sort of go, you know what, 7 o'clock every night I want to watch 2 episodes of Frasier. It sort of gives you structure during your day or your evening. I mean, the times that they put things on nowadays, like, I kind of want to watch, say, Big Bang Theory at 7 o'clock at night, not 9:30 at night. Yeah. Better slow down, eh? A little bit. Having a half-hour show on at 9:30 at night. It's sort of, what do I do until then, and then after then? I mean, does nobody work anymore? Quite often there's my missus would like to watch a movie. TV channels, if they put a movie on and you can stomach the ads, they started at 9:30 on a weekday. Well, if you've got to get up early, who's watching that? You could go to bed at midnight when you've got to get up and get your ass to work the next morning. What happened to the 8:30 time slot for movies, you know? News is around 6 because people are reading their tea when they watch the news. You back it up with, a sitcom and then a movie. You eat your tea while you watch the news, you have your shower, you watch your sitcom, you watch your movie, you go to bed. It's actually quite a good structure for working people. Normal everyday chumps like a bit of structure to their day. It helps them organise their day. Man, it's foggy here today. It is literally 11 o'clock in the morning and it's still a super fog. Soup of fog outside. Yeah, we've got the lights on. We need more light. Actually, let's enjoy the sunset and then we'll put the lights on. 400 miles. What's our range? That's our trip meter. There's probably a way to change over the menu there, but I don't have a button map for it. Way station bypass service.
Get ready to turn left.
Oh, I remember coming through this one before and I just ignored it. But we'll go in for the way station because there is a way to get across.
Never mind. I'll find a new computer. Turn left and then continue straight on. Never mind.
I'm sorry.
Find a new route.
Don't be mad. Just got to go and tick a box. £92,000, huh?
Get ready to turn left.
Will do. Oh, it's a sharp turn
Turn
too, huh?
left.
Comes a truck. Oh, he's turning. Boo.
Reroute.
Oh. I turned the wheel while looking. What do you mean rerouting? Oh. What?
Get ready to turn right.
I turned too much left.
Turn right and then turn right.
Okay.
Turn right.
So yeah, it's kind of good to watch a show just chronologically in order and in a time slot that you sort of want to watch it in. And it's actually sometimes quite nice to watch it on a schedule almost. You sort of, yeah, every day there goes a hawk. Every day it just happens that I like to watch Frasier at 7 o'clock, you know? I do quite like one of the things, talking about lazy writing in scripts and stuff like that. One of the things that annoys me is the use of the phone as a prop now. You know, rather than having to write some dialogue and the people having to act it, they kind of just get on the phone and then you either tell the story by talking at the phone, or you hang up the phone and then you say what's happened. So you didn't have to actually write or film the event happening. You just cover it by phone. There's way too much phone stuff. And yeah, it's just lazy script writing to me. One of the things is when you watch some of these older shows is they don't have that tech, because again, these have become props for people to write with. You know, what happened on social media or some such thing. It's kind of a prop. But they're not very useful or relatable props. In terms of, you know, it just doesn't translate that well to a bit wobbly there. This load's a bit wobbly. It just doesn't translate well, you know, it's just lazy all the time. I mean, I was, I said I've watched a couple of older sitcoms, and then also, say, this Secret Service thing from France that's set in the 60s. And there's just a lot less of reliance on technology as props all the time. Come on, mate. Oh. That's what I hate with following these trucks, and they sort of slow down too much all of a sudden, and you have to get on the brakes and you just lose your momentum. So yeah, when you watch these old shows and people don't have smartphones, and there's not social media to sort of fall back on. Sorry, mate. There's just it's a lot more watchable show. It's a lot more coherent. I have to put the lights on here, mate, so I can see what I'm doing. Get away from me, you freak.
Go straight on.
So yeah, you sort of, I guess you sort of go, look, it's a fine line, isn't it, between being a technophobe, like an old person who sort of says, computers, or, you know, any type of mobile telephone. It's just so both lazy and pervasive, the use of sort of smartphone and social media and script writing. Bit of a jump there, got some air, I think.
Go straight on.
A bus and a fuel truck. Oh, terrific. Says I can overtake here, so I don't like it, but I'm going to give it a go. Me and my massive load. Totally safe overtaking manoeuvre. Yes, it's quite nice to watch shows, movies that are just before that time, or set before that time, because you don't have to put up with it, basically. And sometimes the way that technology is used now is just to fix all is just so ridiculous. You know, so you're watching CSI or something like that, or some such equivalent show. There's always some like genius, quirky person who just taps on the keyboard and gives you the answer. If life is that easy, every terrorist would be, they'd all be caught before lunchtime, mate. What do we do after lunch? The use of tech. Oh, we can trace the RFID in his shoe because he went past it. Oh, never been done, doesn't happen. Impossible, mate. Possible in an alternate reality. Totally not done by the police. Because it makes real police look like complete dumbasses. You say, why can't you catch the person who did this? No evidence. No clues. But don't you have a goth in the basement who can just tell you what it was by... No. Oh, the Wagon Queen family truckster, Clark Griswold, mate. Oh yeah, we got good horns. Clark. So yeah, lazy script writing. I mean, not that a show just because it's old is good. There's a lot of rubbish shows in the 90s, in the 2000s, and the Brady Bunch. When was that made? Was that 60s? 60s or 70s? Bloody awful, mate. So many shows are like that. They're just bloody awful. They've been making bloody awful television for a long, long time. It's not a new thing. It's just they've found new ways to create filler for these things. I was watching, listening to. In Australia, there's a radio station called Triple J. And when I was, in my 20s, it was, the cool station to listen to. There was no pop on it, that's for sure. Australian music, 90s and sort of early 2000s, was really good. A lot of music was around the world. Oh, come on, Clark. And every year they had what was called the Hottest 100. They still do it now. And basically, people voted for their favourite song of the year. And then, I think it was Australia Day. Is it still Australia Day? Because that's so politically incorrect now, Australia Day. They do the countdown from 100 to number 1, obviously. You go back and you listen to those old Hottest 100s, because people, put YouTube playlists up for it, and that, Hottest 100 1998. When I'm doing some work, I pop that stuff on. When I'm grinding some metal, doing some work.
Go straight on.
And I've sort of been working my way through various Hottest 100s. And they talk about, the correlation between the advent of the smartphone, the creation of social media, whatever that is, and certain personality traits or
Go
habits,
straight on.
and especially young girls. So, the depression and suicide rates of young people, especially females, skyrockets when, after a very short time of smartphones and social media. It's sort of around 2004, 2005, 2006. These are the sort of, social media's arrived. You're a young person and you've got to deal with it all the time. Well, there's also a correlation between that and shit music. Because you can see, in 2004, you start seeing these songs and you sort of go, what the hell was this doing on the list? And 2005 or 6, which one was it that I was listening to the other day? 2005. It's 05 or 06. By that stage, you're sort of like, something's gone wrong here. All of a sudden, the music is rubbish. It's kind of sort of R&B pop almost. Like, where did this come from? You sort of go, oh, well, these people have pervaded social media. Their reach on people was, all of a sudden, it was a lot engineered to what people were going to listen to, rather than you just play cool shit and people work out what they like. So you can tell, 05 or 06, I can't remember what it was, but man, a good half of those songs just, no one would have been interested in those 2 years before then. They were just rubbish songs, but somehow they were made popular. You're doing a whole lot of skipping through that list of 100 songs to get the odd one that was sort of, oh, yeah, that's a good song.
Keep right, and then turn right.
That's a bit of an ask, that survey. 165 miles, we've got fuel to make that. Gonna have to go wide here to get through. So yeah, there's just a massive correlation, isn't there, between the introduction of the smartphone, then piggybacked on that, there's the introduction of, mobile social media, being connected to this rubbish all the time. And then essentially the death of quality music, or quality music on a large scale.
Go straight on.
There's a survey coming up, I think it's on the wrong side. I'll do a fuel stop if it's an easy fuel stop, but with this load I don't know if there are any easy fuel stops.
Go straight on.
I mean, these platforms, they're fine if you consider them, the phone itself and the platforms are fine if you treat them as what they should be. And that is a tool. It's no different to a computer, it's no different to a hammer, it's a tool for getting something done. For me, it's a communication tool. Yeah, an advertising tool, a selling tool, all that type of stuff. But don't make it your best friend. I mean, I use some of these facilities to keep in contact with a very small amount of people. The rest of what I do is, you know, advertising. Yeah, sneeze. And that's 90% of what it is. It's advertising. 90% of what people see on that stuff is just ads. That's what it is. It's an advertising tool. If you think you're watching something because the person's cool or you're going to learn something off them, they're advertising. Everything is an ad. Everything is an ad now. Is that the Camaro? Cool. You know, people place stock in these things and having to hear the opinion of a million people. Most people I meet aren't that smart. And to me, the smarter somebody is, the more reticent they are to share their opinion, because they tend to know that they don't know as much as they would like. You know, the smarter people get, the more they know they don't know. And so they're not keen on giving rock solid opinions and just shooting from the hip all the time. So the people you're interacting with is sort of the bottom 50% in terms of thinking, unless they're on there selling you something. Imagine growing up now. I'm so glad that I'm not. And having to have this constant communication, constant monitoring by people of you, what you say, who you know. Everybody looking in minute detail of everything that you say or do. Essentially having to run your own PR campaign. And that's kind of how you've got to look at it. Everything that you put on there is your PR campaign. Everything that's on there that's public. Your employer, your future employer, your future friends, anyone you meet, people who are sort of looking to do business with you, you've got to look at it as your PR. When you're young, you shouldn't be thinking that. There should be a way for a young person to just press a button and delete the whole lot. Starting again from now. And there was a case in Australia recently. There was a guy who was quite young who got selected to run for Parliament. Federal Parliament. And they went through his social media and they found 12 years ago it was, I think. 12 years ago he liked a joke that is now considered possibly politically incorrect. Now again, they don't even say what the joke is. 12 years ago, and he was in his 20s then, so he's in his early teens, right? He's in his early to mid-teens, he liked an inappropriate joke, and that meant he got dropped from running for Parliament. This is how dangerous these things are. Everything that you go on there is on the record. Everything you put on there is on the record. Don't put anything stupid. Don't put anything even. Just got $500 from Annette. Good on you. In the future, you don't know what is going to be used against you, because it might be fine now, but all of a sudden it's not. There's a lot of crazy ideas at the moment. Who knows what mentalist will end up in charge of deciding what's acceptable and what isn't. So you really want to, what is public on that? You really want to stick to that being a tool for you to use. It's a PR tool for you. It's for business. It's for selling stuff. That's what it's for. If you don't believe me, have a look at what you get every day. It's marketed to you. It's all about selling your stuff, getting you to click on stuff, because that's what they're paid for. I know, because, you know, I have some business pages on there, and basically their way of making money is to get me to pay them to show you information.
Go straight on.
Keep your conversations private amongst people you know well. I mean, this is just in general too, in terms of not just media, but everything. You want to do your best to be a producer, not a consumer. Produce content. All the time that you spend consuming content, you know, you've got to weigh that up. I like to watch a little bit of YouTube just like everybody. In fact, I probably watch more YouTube than actual TV now. But you've got to limit how much of your time you spend on that where you could be doing something useful.
Go straight on.
Make a YouTube video. Make something else. Rather than reading ads, you should be trying to make the ads. You know, you've got to do your best to be a producer, not just a consumer. Otherwise, they are just a complete waste of your time. How are we going for time? Speaking of time, I'm getting towards the end here, I think. Did all that truck customization, didn't we? What's that? A substation. So yeah, it was just so noticeable when you're sort of watching those hottest 100s each year. Then all of a sudden it just all of a sudden it just drops off a sharp cliff. The quality. All of a sudden it's low quality, highly commercial music. I mean, being in a semi-rural area myself, kind of limited to radio stations. You know, you have the usual commercial pop radio, and you can still get Triple J. Listen to it now; it may as well be pop radio. That is kind of what they play now. you know, both the presenters, it sort of reminds me of that abomination that is, you know, junkie. It's just people pretending to be cool and new age and relevant.
Get ready to turn left.
I'm new speak relevant. But they're just plastic cutouts, man. Dime a dozen.
Turn left.
Might come back and get some fuel. What's that up there? Whatever. Everyone sort of looks and goes, oh no, the truck just pulled out in front of me. Historic Bayfront.
Go straight on.
All cars. Whatever. How have we got 9 miles? That's not McDonald's. How can you think that? So yeah, it's kind of disappointing. And then you sort of don't know. This is one of the things I find particularly difficult. I don't know some of it. Am I just getting old? I'm getting like that old person's thing. No, this is new, so I don't like it. But I've never sort of kind of been that way, and I think a lot of new tech is cool. I can see the possibilities for it. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, is everyone going to do their lights to me? Yeah, alright. It's 4:52 AM, mate. Where you all off to? Struck tracks straight and true. Go on, Mustang boy. Oh, it says 35 mile an hour.
Get ready to turn left.
Oh, here we go. Got some weird turn.
Turn left.
It's gonna wait for me. Good on you, bro. Gonna have to swing wide there because of the old double trailer. So yeah, am I just getting old and I don't like anything new, especially the music? Occasionally I hear the odd new song that I like though, do you know what I mean? It's just certain genres where I think they're just a bit rubbish.
and then turn left. Turn left.
And those particular genres seem to be very popular. I sort of have this thing, I think everything popular is wrong. Somebody famous said that, not me.
Get ready to turn left.
But because a lot of it,
Turn left.
you know, we're talking about filler. It's produced no differently than food, you know? People want to make food that's just sort of cut with sugar and salt because those things are cheap. It's no different to a drug dealer who gets cocaine and then cuts it with something else. So he turns a little bit into cocaine into a whole lot of cocaine, or using cheap filler.
Finally, we are hit.
Yeah, that'll do. Hey mate. Hopefully I'm not going to Austin Powers it today. But you know, you never know. Not in there yet. There we go. Not quite at level 11. I think we'll go and get some fuel. Actually, should we pick up a job? Should we pick up our job and get that in progress? Get some fuel on the way, then leave it there. Coos Bay, Medford, Lakeview, Ontario. Lakeview, $47 a mile, 60,000 pounds of lumber. I think we'll take that one.
Ready to roll.
We can do it. Hey mate, what are you doing? Start early, huh? 5 o'clock. When should we do this smoky burnout, mate? There goes our container. Let's see, let's have a look at the map. Yeah, we'll go past the fuel station. So, parking brake engaged. Whoops. Oh, it was a bit rough today, huh?
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
They've done a great job with some
Turn
of
right.
the art on this ATS, haven't they? And ATS, you know, when you drive ATS you feel like you're in Europe, and when you drive ATS you feel like you're in America. It's different looking places.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
Motel. Nice place, huh? But
right.
yeah, the stuff that people like to produce, who are mass producers, like I said,
Turn right.
whether it's drugs or food, whoa, a bit squirrely there. They like to be able to fill it with cheap stuff so they get more profit. Music's the same, I think. It's so easy to pump out some R&B because, you know, don't need anyone to play a musical instrument or anything like that. That's pretty hard. Don't sort of have to do anything even remotely original or interesting. The same with a lot of pop, you know. We're motoring now, boys, huh? Truck's fine. Whoa, dude. Ping pong you back into oblivion. You know, say when somebody makes chocolate, let me give another example. When somebody makes chocolate,
Go
chocolate's
straight
kind
on.
of expensive, so they get you like in chocolate. You know? We can buffer this with milk and sugar. More milk, more sugar. And now what they've got, people, is caramel. Caramel, or caramel
Keep
if you're in
right.
the United
And
States,
then turn right.
is cheap filler. Is sugar.
Turn right.
And the reason they put it in stuff is because it's cheap filler. There's a servo. Am I going to... What I really want to do is go through here and go right here. Just go, oh, this chocolate's expensive, but I can give them a chocolate outside, stick some caramel inside. That saves on my chocolate. To me, the double whammy is the salted caramel. Who wants salt and chocolate? But by making this popular, you can reduce how much chocolate I
Never
have to
mind.
sell.
I'll find a new route.
How? Well, you know, I just fill it with sugar and salt,
Get ready.
just like
Turn
everything
left.
else. And my profit margin goes up. Oh, salted
Turn left.
caramel. It's delicious. It's amazing. You see MasterChef or something like that, cooking shows. Oh, everyone loves salted caramel. Meh. Who flicked the switch and decided everyone should have salted caramel all of a sudden? They're right, we're full of fuel. We're full of something, that's for sure. Huh? But now their reach to people is so good now. People walk around with this information funnel attached to them all the time. Somehow you take that and tell them salted caramel's the best, and all of a sudden you're making chocolate with filler, desserts with filler all the time. So yeah, that's why I think popular music is rubbish. It's because it's mass produced. And because it's mass produced, it's just made of cheaply as possible.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
Road work ahead. What's going on, boys? Nobody here,
Get
mate.
ready to turn right.
It's 5 in the morning. It's 5 in the morning, we're in the middle of nowhere. I won't be waiting for that red light. Can we get air on the bridge? No. Nah.
It was a nice ride.
Yeah. Sure. Right, where are we? Oh, it's one of these ones that's going to be a mystery, isn't it, about how you should be getting there. Should I drive around that building? I don't think you can drive through there. Maybe I should drive through there. Oh! I'm looking the wrong way. Hey, it's been a long day, alright? I haven't had sleep in 6 days. It's a bit hard to see the sort of road on the map. I think we're going the right way here. Yeah, here we go. Hey, look at this lumber, huh? Get stuff like that where I live. See him going up the highway with this kind of load, you know. Man, that's heavy. Man.
Drive safe.
Oh yeah, no problems. Pull that all day. So, let's get our map set. Lake view. No unlockables. And then, we'll leave it there. We'll pick this up next time, this job. So, there we go. So, that is the end of the stream. Is that right? That's right. Let us call it a day.